The other day I caught myself saying fat isn't fat. And in the sense, it was kind of a tangent of a lot of the things that I think are not what they tell us. Like, I don't think the stars are what they tell us that they are. I don't think that, like the cold and the flu and snot, it dawned on me one time that I think snot was emotion. And I think colds and flus were how to deal with emotions. And then like, it's, I've kind of proven myself right since. Anyway, so I was on this tangent, and the idea that fat is not fat came out of my mouth, and it I that came to my I came to that conclusion because I have noticed there are so many women that have went from being their radiant selves, feeling confident, and yes, like a smaller clothing size, and then I don't see them for a while, and then something changes. And I don't think it has anything to do with food. If you were to ask, I haven't asked them. It's not, I'm not close enough with them to ask them. And if I were, they would probably put it on some autoimmune disease or some hormone disorder. And, I mean, hormones is like a thing, but I think it's bigger and deeper and more layered than that and more spiritual than that. And when I think of men that put on muscle, I feel like they do that as protection. And then I recently have lost a lot of muscle, and I have a lot of fat on my body, and I have never had this before to the extent that it is now. It is a completely new and weird body, and it is just soft and it's weird. And it's not that I'm lazy and undisciplined, it's that I listen to something else. The human that is Deb is not the thing that is running the show. So when I don't go to the gym, and when I don't do my hobbies, and when I don't go see certain people, I am doing so because there's something else that's always running the show. And so going to the gym or putting on muscle is not part of the plan right now. And then I was just listening to a thing just now, and it was saying how God is softening you in places where you were once hardened to survive. And that hit. Even though, like, I am a female, why am I putting on all this muscle to survive? I was a bodybuilder, and I even did it competitively, and that was really cool. Um and I before that I was, within that was a journey of being a personal trainer and things. And I knew there was something else. I knew that there was something deeper. Well, anytime I had a client, like, it wasn't about the fitness routines and the workouts and the tempo and all that stuff. Like, yes, it was, but I didn't have top athlete clients. Okay, we weren't refining great habits that were already there. These were everyday people that just needed something in their life. And a lot of it, I could tell, was emotional, had nothing to do with the gym. And that was the moment that I decided Awaken with Deb was kind of the journey. So, yes, health and fitness, nutrition, physical fitness, those do play a role and are foundational. Foundational. However, things go deeper than that. I have been what you would call a healthy person my entire life, and I am going through things that are not what you would say are healthy. And I believe it is a full on energetic situation. There are things happening, there are things resetting, restructuring, releasing. I can't explain it, but there are things happening. And that's what's going on with me. So it's probably is going on with you as well. And I know this because you are also part of this planet Earth, which is also part of this solar system, which is also part of the bigger scheme of the age of Aquarius and the end of a 6,000-year dark ages cycle. And we're now at the beginning of a 12,000-year cycle that ends into the 10,000-year golden age cycle. So, like, we got some stuff going on, right? And our bodies are shifting if you're attuned to it, if your spirit is calling you for it. That was 444 on the video when I said that. And these videos aren't going to find you if they're not meant to find you, if they're not resonating with you, if you're not on the awakening path, if you're not on the spiritual path, if if you're not on the let's dive deeper to what is really going on here on a, I mean, even a science, like spirituality is science. They have it figured out before science. Science is just now, like, I came across something yesterday and it was like 2012 scientists discovered this, and I was like, well, I knew that before 2012 just from doing my research in the esoteric and Wiccan and Egyptian and like there's all this information has been around. And not only that, but we are connected to a field that is all knowing when we need to know it. There's so much information that I just know, and then I'll hear something that I've never heard from outside influence before, and I'm like, yeah, well, I knew that. You mean you didn't know that? Like, I just have this innate knowledge on things. And what's even more interesting is I see these newer generations also being born with the same and even more in-depth innate knowledge. It's wonderful. It's crazy. I am like, if I can at least, if I can make it and it's staying on Earth in this 3D realm, like, I am stoked to see where the future goes. And I'm sorry if this is wiggling. I usually use my tripod. I don't have the tripod set up right now. So I do apologize for that. And I'm all over the place. Like, my energy is scattered. There's just so many messages that are always coming through, and there's just so much to uncover and unwrap and unpack. So much noise to cut through. And I have spent decades doing it. And I'm trying to wrap, to say any one little thing, trying to learn how to describe the decades of information behind that one thing is where the practice of these videos has been super helpful and insightful for me. So even if no one's resonating with these videos, I want YouTube to know that they are wonderful learning mechanisms for myself to be able to practice with an audience and store the data somewhere and hit play and listen to it back and watch it back as I want. And there's many times I'll be scrolling, or I'll have a YouTube video turned on and then it stops and autoplay on the next video, and then I'll be like, oh wow, this is some really good information, and then I realize it's my video. I don't realize it's my video right off the bat because we're not familiar with hearing our own voices back to us. And so it's kind of caught me off guard a couple times, and that's pretty cool. Anyways, God is softening places that we once hardened for survival. For some reason, this whole video is about that one sentence. So it means something to someone out there that also needs to hear it. And also my theory on how fat is not fat, because it's something else. Okay, so cheers. My name's Deb. I like to share my human experience to help others with their human experience, because this place is crazy and paradoxical, and yeah, cheers. Like, subscribe, comment,